Hey, so let's play California Dreamin' by the Mamas and Papas. John Phillips and Michelle Phillips wrote the tune. It is a spectacular song. So let's learn it and we'll play it. Coming up. Hey everyone, Paul here, PZ Guitar, your virtual practice partner. So we're doing a little bit more than just practicing here. We're going to learn a song. A great, great song. It's a fabulous song. It's an incredibly good song. Mamas and Papas. It's an iconically great song from the 60s. Capo on the 4th fret. If you don't have a capo, you can play it without a capo. Just do everything, you know, a little bit further up towards the nut here, but everything relative to the capo. So when I say an A minor or a G chord, it's in relationship to the capo. If you don't have a capo, then it's a standard A minor and G and so on. But the capo is on the 4th fret. So there's an introduction, verse 1, chorus 1, and then we repeat verse and chorus again. And then we go into like a little vamp, like it's that part of the flute solo. It's an extended instrumental part. And then we do a verse again, no chorus for the 3rd verse. And then we go into the outro. And it's really just a fabulous song. So let's learn the introduction first. And actually, you know what? Let's learn let's practice the strumming pattern. So the easy strumming pattern that you can do is just do 4 down strums, you know, per measure. That's perfectly fine. With the chord changes, you'll be able to recognize California Dreaming. But the strumming patterns, I'm going to mute the strings. I'm going to put it on the screen as well. Down, 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 up, up, down, down, up, down. 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, and 4. So let's do it with me here. One more. So that's the strumming pattern. Roll that back to the beginning of that section if you want to get another, you know, a few seconds worth of practice on it. If you're a beginner and this pattern is just, you just can't compute it, just do 4 down strums per measure pattern. Let's talk about the opening riff, riff here. And there's 3 ways that we can do this. Okay, the ultra beginner portion of it, actually there's 4 ways. Way number 1 is just eliminate, if you're having a problem with the intro, just eliminate the intro, just go right into the verse. Nothing wrong with that. If you want to do an incrementally more difficult version of, but still very easy, play the A sus2. A sus2 is mute, open, 2, 2, open, open, with your middle and ring finger on the 2nd fret, and just do 1, 2, 3, and then move your middle finger to the A string 2nd fret. That's an E7 sus4. What, an E7 sus4? What in the world? It's a big name. It's an easy chord. It's actually one of the iconic sounds of this particular tune. We simply just for an E7 sus4, it's going to be open, 2, open, 2, open, open. So you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. That's easy version 1, actually version number 2. The first one is just skip the intro. But easy version 1 is just 1, 2, 3, and hold. And then start into the verse. The next level of the introduction, and I've heard this many times, is we play the A sus2 chord. So it's going to be, again, it's open, 2, 2, open, open. And we pick out the D string, the G string, and the open B string, and then go back to the D string. So that's, and then we put our pinky down on that B string, index finger down on the B string, and then open. So putting that together. Let's do that again. And that right there, if you play that little opening line 3 times, and then go to the E7/4. I've heard that many times. So that is a perfectly acceptable intermediate level of the introduction. The full introduction is going to be, we just did part 1. So phrase 1, phrase 2, so let's break apart phrase 2. It's the D and the G string as before, and now we hit the B and the A, the high E string. Pinky down, index finger down on the high E, and then off with open E string, and then pinky on the B string, and then finish it off with the index finger forming the A minor. So just doing that phrase by itself. So let's do the first 2 parts. Let's do the first 2 phrases of the intro. So phrase 3, we're back to doing the A sus2. Pinky down on the B string, then index on 1, then open, back to the G string, and now open, and now we play that E7/4. So putting that all together. So that's the intro. There's a tab on the screen. Copy that down and put it to your PZ guitar library. And now let's move on to the verse. There's one strumming pattern throughout the rest of the song. It's that strumming pattern that we discussed already. Down, 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 up, up, down, down, up, down. And the way this works is that's a 2-bar strumming pattern. So the first bar is, we split that up into 2 different chords. So we start off with an A minor, go to a G chord, and now on the and of 4, that's when we switch to the F chord. It's called a push. We are changing chords before the next measure, so we're pushing forward here. So it's up, down on the F, and then we go back to the G. So the typical rhythm is going to be. Let's do that again. That chord sequence is very prominent. That AM, G, F, G, with the way it's split up. So after that AM, G, F, G, from the G chord, I want to get to the next line of the verse here is going to be that E7 sus4. Big name, simple chord. My index finger, my middle finger is already anchored on the A string, so I simply put my ring finger down on the G string 2nd fret. While I'm playing that E7 sus4, I'm actually going to put my index finger down on the G string 1st fret. Right now you don't hear it because it's being covered up by my middle finger, but and then on that upstrum, that and a 4, I lift off. So it goes from, that's the iconic sound to me of this particular song. So again, we are going to split up that chord. Is going to be E7 sus4. The upstrum of the and of 4 is going to be that E7. Is going to be the E7. And then this only happens one time in the first line of the verse. We go and finish that down, up, down with an F. So again, we start off with down. Now we go C, E7, AM, F, and it becomes a much more of a conventional strumming pattern here where we split up everything. So we go to AM, F, back to G, E7 sus4, E7, finish that phrase off with the F, and then we do the walk up. Second time we don't switch to an F on that E7. We stay on that E7. And now we repeat. So let's do that verse all the way through, just one time, real easy. Back to A minor. Now we do the chorus. Chorus is basically just one quick phrase. We stay on that E7 sus4. We don't go to an E7. So it's going to be A minor. E7 sus4. We don't change that. That's the audible cue that you're in the chorus, that it doesn't change to that E7. It doesn't have that iconic E7 to E7. It just stays on that E7 sus4. So that's the verse and the chorus. We repeat the verse and the chorus, and then we go to the part that is the extended instrumental, the flute solo. And same strumming pattern. We're going to drone on the A minor here for a bit. So we finish off that down up down on an F, and then we do our typical climb. E7 sus4, E7, and then our typical phrase. E7. Repeat. E7 sus4, E7. That's the flute solo. Do one more verse, no chorus, just the verse, and then we get into the outro. And I had talked about, when we first discussed the verse here, I had mentioned that this particular phrase, that A minor, G, F, G, appears throughout. And it happens so often that you are expecting to hear that E7 sus4. You're expecting to hear that very iconic sounding chord in the context of this song. You're expecting to hear it. But in the outro, you don't. And that gives the audible cue that something is happening right here. And so the outro is going to be... Repeat that. Repeat. So you're expecting to hear this suspended fourth with a seventh, and you're expecting to hear that, and you don't get it. So you get the idea that something is happening here. And then John Phillips, in his brilliance, throws in an F major 7. And one of the nice things about 7 chords is it gives you a feeling of almost transition or even finality. So from that G chord, we do an F major 7. So that's going to be a mute. We put our ring finger down on 3, our pinky down on 3. We put our middle finger down on 2 and our index down on 1, and then the high E is open. It's an inverted F major 7, but it's still an F major 7. If I got rid of my my middle finger and I just played the top 4 string, that is a true F major 7. But I just love the sound of that A string ringing out here. Gives it a fullness. It's still an F major 7. I think it's a second inversion. Whatever. It's an inversion of an F major 7. So, and then we go to the A minor. So that outro together is all the way. The outro all the way. Repeat. Repeat. F major 7. And so you start on the A minor chord and you finish on the A minor on the A minor. Gives a feeling and a sense of completeness. It's just a brilliant song. Again, to me, that E7 sus4, big name, simple chord, to E7 is an iconic sound. And the other thing that John Phillips does, at least in my opinion, when he does that C to E7 to A minor, that climb that he does, when he hits that A minor, it's on an up strum, so you get the high strings first. It really accents that chord sequence beautifully, at least in my opinion. Maybe I'm getting a little too into whatever. This is a tremendous song. Absolutely fantastic. So let's do a performance, and then we'll do some tips and the Chuck Norris quote of the day, one of my favorite things. So stick around for that. Hey everybody, let's play California Dreamin'. Here we go. Not too bad. I flubbed an F chord in there. Big deal. Played right through it. See in the recap. Everyone, thank you so much for sticking around. And hopefully this song becomes part of your repertoire, and I've been able to break it down. Make sure you copy all of the documentation down for this song and file it away, print it out, add it to your library. It's a great song to have. You don't have to play it on the capo, on the 4th fret. If you want to play it to the recording, yeah, it would sound better. And as far as a stepping stone, if this particular strumming pattern is a little too advanced, or you're getting tripped up or like that, or you need more practice, but you love the song, you could always just do down strums. So let's do that A minor, G, F, G. So you can use a very simple strum pattern that will give the impression that, yeah, it's recognizable. And especially with that chord sequence, that E7 sus4 to E7, and that climb of the C, the E7 to A minor, the way it just rolls, the way it sounds is just, it's stunning. It's fantastic. So thanks so much for sticking around. Hit the buttons if you'd like. But here's the Chuck Norris quote of the day. Let me get this out here. Ah, yes. Chuck Norris does not call the wrong number. You answered the wrong phone. Not sure I follow that. But who's going to argue with Chuck? Hey, I hope you enjoyed it. There's more songs coming. And I'll see you soon. And cool beans. Just keep practicing. If there's a chord sequence or there's things that you want to learn or try and practice, let me know. And because again, this is the place where we practice. This is the primary focus here is not my guitar skills, which are completely lacking. I don't really, that's kind of evident. But it's the idea about practice, the importance of practicing chords, being able to switch between chords, being able to practice a rhythm. We've done rhythm practice sessions. We've done chord changing practice sessions, and this is where it all comes together. You just can't jump into the end of the pool and expect to swim. You got to start in the shallow end. You got to learn how to swim. You got to learn how to hit a forehand, hit a backhand before you start playing a match. You got to learn some fundamentals and get them down properly in order to be able to play these iconic songs. But when you do these iconic songs, they are so good. This particular song is one of the great songs of all time. It really is. I happened years ago, maybe it was in the late before 2010. I can't remember. Maybe it was 2007 or so. My wife and I, we went with two friends. We went to the Village Gate in New York City, and we saw Denny Doherty with his Mamas and Papas review kind of thing. We actually saw him, and it was fantastic because even though Mama Cass had the tremendous voice, John Phillips wrote songs around Denny Doherty's, being the tenor. He wrote songs around his voice, and seeing him live was just spectacular. So anyway, California Dreamin', keep playing, keep practicing, and I'll see you soon. Hey everyone. Up here is going to be a video that you might want to watch next, or down here could be a playlist that could be of interest. So I suggest that you either click here or click both. It's up to you. But in either case, I'll see you soon.